And welcome back to College Kings.
What's going on, everybody? How we doing tonight?
Yes, CDM here, and Nate Dogg is here. What a weekend of football, brother.
Dude, talk about a great week to start off college football. And I think the greatest game to start off college football, and we're going to jump right into it, is going to be that Colorado TCU game. Talk about a game of the year potential. I'm talking, it was insane. I was so, just like everybody else in the country probably was, starstruck on how good this Colorado team looked.
I mean, yeah, you said it best, man. I mean, it was all ifs, ands, maybes, but it was like kind of like immediately once that game started, you saw the talent, and you're like, hang on a sec.
I mean, when you hit when you're first in the transfer portal, and you have the star-studded coaching that they have, having Deion Sanders as their head coach, and Deion Sanders is not your typical head coach. He's not going to be your Nick Saban, your Kirby Smart. He's a different breed, man. He don't care. He'll let you know straight up on how he feels about you, what you've said about him. As he said in that press conference, we keep receipts. And he's keeping all those receipts. I mean, you come in as a 21-point underdog. That don't matter to Deion, man. That all that matters is going in and playing that game. And he came in, and I'm telling you, I was so happy to just see that team play good because it looked like they had been playing for years together. Like, that team looked so well smoothened out in like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah. It's like you said it perfectly, man. When you get these teams, we talked about it on Saturday when it was happening, it's easy to translate offense. And we saw that. I mean, that offense is a legit Pac-12 offense.
That offense is on fire. I mean, that's how most Pac-12 offenses are, though. Like, they are high-scoring offenses, super explosive plays, doesn't take time off. Like, doesn't take time to, really develop any, small mistakes. They just keep going with it.
Yeah. It's not just it's my biggest thing I picked up was it's not just Shedeur and Travis Hunter. I mean, yeah, they were the story. They were the big story, but the offensive line, the running backs, the receivers, it's everyone.
Think they had four. This is the first time in Colorado football history they've had four receivers with over 100 yards in the same game. One of them being two-way player, Travis Hunter, who had the best game I've ever seen a player have.
That was so
Probably the best game. 11 receptions, 119 yards, and an interception. And that was probably the best interception I've seen in a while in college football. A diving grab.
Elite
status right there. And I told you this before. I think Travis Hunter made the smart decision of going to play for Deion Sanders at Jackson State. Following him there and then taking him to Colorado, I think that really made a standard for everybody that, he can coach anybody. He can coach anybody anywhere. And coming in, first Power 5 game, going up against a team that just played for a national championship, not returning everybody that they had last year. It's a new team. But Colorado last year won one game. So it just goes to show,
did they
these
even
Power
win
5 rankings.
I thought they were winless.
No, they won one game last year. They had to. Yeah, they won one game last year. There's no way.
I'm looking it up. I thought they were winless. No, you're right. 1-11.
Yeah, one game. And I mean, I think Deion is going to elevate that to possibly, if he continues what he's doing. Oh my gosh, what a play!
Yes, we are
if he continues what he's. Yeah, we're watching the Clemson and Duke game. This is going to solidify the top 25 after this week.
Yes.
But I think that Deion Sanders is going to take this Colorado program to the next level, especially since he has two Heisman candidates right now on the same team.
Yes. And I love your point, though, when it comes to Travis Hunter going with Deion. If there's anyone in the country, in the world, honestly, especially in college football, that understands the situation Travis Hunter was in, he's a two-way player in high school, baller on both sides, commits to Florida State, decommits, goes to Jackson State because Deion promised him one thing: we're gonna let you play both sides. Deion did this. He knows what it's like to be a two-way player. And Deion loves that about him. And I promise you, recruits around America watch that game. Two-way players watch that game and said, I want to play for that guy.
I can do, yeah, exactly. They saw that and they were like, I can do that with him, and he can make me into that type of star for sure. Because, I mean, Deion did it at both levels. He did it in the college level. He did it in the NFL. Who's to say that Travis can't do that but elevate it 10 times better than Deion?
Yep.
Who was the last player that you really saw play both ways in the NFL?
I mean,
the last player that I saw play this good in college as a two-way player would probably be Adoree Jackson or Jabril Peppers.
Yeah, Peppers was really good.
Peppers was good. Adoree Jackson was more of like, I would say, a special teams player more than an offense player, and really studied out on defense. But, I mean, Travis Hunter, man, you don't have to put him at returner. He has got the skills to play the receiving position, but he's got the ball hawking skills to play at the corner position as well. Yeah. And those are two very hard positions to play and get good at. And if he masters it, dude, I mean, in the next couple of years, man, I mean, later in his career when he goes to the NFL, we could see him in Canton, Ohio.
Yeah, I mean, it's just he was so good on both sides. And there was a question today on Undisputed. I watched it, and they were asking Richard Sherman, Deion. No, Deion did an interview, but it was before the interview. And they asked him, which is he a better corner or a better receiver? Or will he be a better corner or a better receiver? And they all said cornerback, but not a single one of them said that he's like if he was just a receiver and just stayed receiver and never played cornerback, he would still be a first-round pick, you know?
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. Like, I mean, but playing both of those positions, and in my opinion, I think corner is one of the hardest positions to play in football.
It is.
Getting good at that position is just going to make the game 10 times easier for you because you're already a stud at wide receiver. And if you get better, I mean, I think he's played corner more than wide receiver in his career as well. So, I mean, he's already got the skills mastered down to be a corner. And he's learned, and like, I mean, he's also been playing wide receiver throughout his high school career. He knows how both of those positions work and how to, like, he knows weaknesses. He points that out. And I feel like, you know, doing that is, you know, Deion taking him in and just teaching him everything that he's been through. That's going to help out a lot. I think he only gave up one reception for like maybe 20 yards or so. One reception. And he had 11 receptions for 119 yards. It's insane.
And they were targeted, man. It wasn't like they weren't thrown at him. They said,
"Oh no, dude! Like they were coming at him the entire game."
I mean, that's the smart thing to do. You think this player's gassed? No, that gas tank, man.
No. And then who was there? Let me see real fast. Their running back who had like 4 touchdowns.
Oh yeah, he was a
Henderson.
baller.
I think that's his name.
Henderson, something like that.
Let me see if I can get to it because I mean he did not get enough he didn't get recognized for the work he put in. He had a day.
All right, I'm pulling it up. I think right now TCU, Colorado versus TCU. Come on, ESPN, don't fail me. There we go. Stats, running back. Okay, it was by committee. Wilkerson led him in yards. Dylan Edwards and Anthony Hankerson. Hankerson had no touchdowns. Edwards had a 1 rushing touchdown. Wilkerson had 1. But you're thinking Dylan Edwards in the pass game.
Yeah. Dylan Edwards in the pass game
3 times.
Had, like, explosive. That kid, I mean, for a small running back like the way he is, he's so explosive, though. And he tore up that defense. I mean, Shador tore up that defense. 5'10", 4 tugs, 80% against not the best defense, but also, I mean, it's a Power 5 team. And so you expect the best. And he just came in and he looked, me and you said it on Saturday, he looked so polished, so well coached, and looked like a pro quarterback. And they were taking bombs, dude. Like they were taking deep shots downfield. And he was hitting them in the breadbasket. Like the one deep shot he connected on was right there on the sideline. And the one that
Travis should have caught. Exactly. Yep.
Travis should have caught one of them. Like, I mean, it was a good play. But Travis should have had probably 3 touchdowns or 2 touchdowns. Because, I mean, he was flaming that cornerback for TCU.
Fumble, Clemson ball. No,
Why did you touch it? Like what? Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
whatever, Duke.
No, but one thing I think Colorado needs to clean up on is giving up 42 points is pretty big. There are some things on defense that they obviously do have to clean up. But other than that, I mean, Colorado is going to be a very big threat in the Pac-12 if they clean up that defensive side of the ball. The offense can only go up from here, I think, in my opinion. The offense can only go up. And the way they use Travis as well is going to be another reason. But if they clean up the defensive side of the ball, they're going to I think they can make a really, really big chance in the Pac-12. I'm not going to go say playoffs right now, but I'm going to say the floor is a bowl game. The ceiling could be Pac-12 championships, college football playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I mean, I said it on Saturday too to you that it's offense is much easier to go through the transfer portal, build it through the transfer portal in one season. You're great. It's easy to do that now with everything happening in the transfer portal. The thing that's tough to build is a defense. That's culture. That takes time. It's got
to be a brotherhood. You know what I mean? It's got to be a band of brothers who are like willing to play for each other.
Exactly. And that's not going to happen in one season. No one's asking this defense, though, to be the best defense in the country. They just need them to be good enough to slow down an Oregon, slow down a Utah, slow down a USC.
Slow down Caleb Williams.
It's just slow him down. No one's stopping Caleb Williams. It's about slowing him down. I think
not until he plays a good team.
Yeah,
and I agree with you on that. Slow him down. Don't go out there and try and win it all. Like, do what you have to do to win the game. And so I think that going into the Pac-12 is going to be a little different because nobody in the Pac-12 after watching that game expected them to look that good. I mean, nobody expected that at all.
Nope.
So,
no, I mean, yeah, it's awesome to see. Last thing I was going to really say is last couple of things, I guess, is we could talk, and there's no disrespect, like prime time. You're that guy, but I gotta it's honestly a respect. I gotta give him respect for the coaching staff that he has in that. Dude,
building. The coaching staff is unbelievable.
It's ridiculous. It's like they were going through it on. I think it was Undisputed, and like that's. You can make an argument it is a top 3 coaching staff in the country, man. He brought everybody. Former NFL coaches, so many former college football coaches. I mean, Mike Zimmer is not even coaching. He's technically like a defensive analyst. I
was just about to say that Mike Zimmer is on that coaching squad.
It's like this. It's so stacked. So a shout out to Dion, man.
If Dion can go,
Todd.
If Dion can go 2-10, maybe. Oh, it's too easy.
Todd Clemson.
If Dion can go 9-3 or 10-2, make a bowl game.
Way ahead of schedule.
What'd you say?
Way ahead of schedule if that happens, man. I mean,
way ahead of schedule, and probably for the program as well.
Yes.
Yeah. But I mean, also Travis Hunter first half ends play 60 snaps on both sides of the ball. By the end of the game, he ended up playing 145 snaps.
That's so many.
That's insane. And guess what? He said he was still He said he could go again right now if they started up.
Yeah,
that's insane. Yeah, you know how conditioned you have to be to play that many snaps?
Yeah, Dion said that he doesn't even practice during the week. He only makes him practice on Fridays so he can stay fresh.
Dude, that is so... I mean, if it works out, it works out. And it worked out. So, I mean...
Like, he still practices, but he, don't go hard. You have to take
Don't go all out.
Yep.
I don't want you to, tweak anything.
Don't tweak anything. You got to stay fresh, man. You got to if you're playing 145 snaps.
Yeah, if you're playing... I don't think that needs to have... I think that doesn't need to happen every game.
Yeah.
I think if you're going to put them in on defense or on offense, it's going to have to be in crunch time moments. But, I mean, this game was to show, hey, we're all here.
Yep.
And, I mean, once again, his kids – I mean, even Shiloh Sanders had 10 tackles that game, too, at safety. I mean, he had a really good game. The team in general played so well.
Yeah, I mean, Shiloh led the team in tackles. It's like –
yeah.
Wow.
I mean, you got studs everywhere. Studs.
It's impressive, man. It's impressive. Last thing I'll say is I'm not sure if they beat USC or Oregon, but they are much better than people thought they were. And it is prime time. That is
It's primetime season, baby.
I mean,
it's primetime season.
You're watching. I'm watching every single game I can. It's so awkward. It's so odd, man. I would never watch Colorado football unless this was happening. You know.
Only time I would watch them if they're playing against Oregon, USC, Washington. Not. I would never go out of my way to watch them. Now I'm going to be keeping up with them every Saturday.
Yeah, if they're on, I'm turning them on. You know,
they play Nebraska this Saturday in Colorado. So I mean, just imagine how packed that Colorado home opener is about to be, dude.
I
mean, they sold out their spring game. Just imagine their first home game after coming back with a dub.
I can't imagine being a Colorado.
Insane. Dude. Now I want to go to a Colorado game.
I know. Imagine being in that student section now. You've been in misery for the past 10 years, and
couple years,
and now you get Deion Sanders.
You get prime time, and it's just like, this is like a God sent moment.
This is what it's all about. All right, we could talk about Colorado forever. Let's get on to the next massive game that happened. My LSU Tigers got dismantled by the Florida State Seminoles, sending a message to the entire country. CDM, give me your thoughts, my man, on this Seminoles victory. Are they the best team in the country?
I'm not going to go too far to say that. I will say they are a top 5 team in the country now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to take anything away from LSU being ranked 5 right now, but it kind of looked like that they were not supposed to be top 5 at the moment.
Yeah.
I think it kind of maybe got to them a little bit. Brian Kelly came out at the post game conference saying, I think we were thinking we're the 2-time defending national champions Georgia Bulldogs right now, and we're not. Yeah. But Florida State had a game. First off, 2 historic programs going with each other. You have 2 Heisman contending quarterbacks going at it. So, they're fighting for a place in the Heisman Award, but they're also fighting for a college football playoff spot. Okay. It's been since 2014 since Florida State's been there, and they got blown out the last time they were there. And last time LSU was there, won a national championship. So, there was a lot riding on this game, and who knows, depending on how either one of these teams do during the season, that they meet again in the playoffs. But LSU's biggest threat right now, since they lose this game, is, in my opinion, their playoff hopes run through Tuscaloosa this year.
Yeah.
And it also depends on how this Saturday goes with Texas and Alabama too. That's another thing, but we'll get on that later. Just 2 big quarterbacks going at it. Jalen Daniels didn't have the best game, but didn't have the worst game either. In the first half, he counted for over 214 yards of their offense in general. 22 of 37, 347 in passing yards, a touchdown and interception, which one of those interceptions was bad, but I'm not going to blame that on him. I'm going to blame on that wide receiver falling down. That was they're going to blame it on the quarterback, but in my opinion, it wasn't his fault at all. And then you have Jordan Travis, who was electric last night, and another player who I knew was going to have a star-studded night, but I didn't think it'd be that good. Jordan Travis, 23 of 31, 342 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown and an interception. And the player that I had, my standout player for this week, who I thought could be a lot better, and he proved it, Keon Coleman, transfer wide receiver from Michigan State. He had 9 receptions, 122 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Talk about a game and a debut for a team. And this Florida State team this Florida State team looked good. They looked – it took a little bit after that first half to get rolling for both teams, honestly.
Yep.
LSU didn't look the best. Florida State was still trying to figure out their running game situation because their pass game, in my opinion, looks really good right now. Jordan Travis has got a solid number 1 wide receiver right now in Coleman. And there's other, as I told you before, there's studs around that wide receiver room. But I think one thing that they're going to have to improve on is giving Travis a little bit more time in the backfield and also running the ball a little bit more. I think they only average I want to say 3.6 yards a carry. So, there's some things to work on offense. Defense played lights out, not going to lie. They gave up some really big plays, but they played really good. Now, LSU kind of had a little struggle boat in that second half for sure. And I think one thing that really hurt is that Jalen Daniels doesn't have I don't think he has anybody really solidified as his number one guy to go to. That's what I have right here. I think that he needs to have his number one and number two guys on the outside. Because, I mean, he runs the ball so good. You were texting me last night saying that he is one of the most elusive players right now in college football to take down. Last year, he had 84 missed tackles in the as a quarterback. That was first overall in front of Caleb Williams, who had 44. So, I mean, I think that if you rely on the run game too much for Jalen Daniels, it's just going to be, it's going to be a one-dimensional offense. So you want to try and figure out two guys on the outside for him to get the ball out to. And I don't know his name, one receiver that you and Nolan were talking to me about. Can't remember his name.
LSU?
Yes. Newman, something like that.
Malik Neighbors?
Yes, Neighbors. Yes.
He fell.
Neighbors is good. Neighbors is really good. But I think he needs to have somebody on the other side of him to take pressure off and open up that passing game a little bit more. Because, I mean, there were some drop balls last night. There were some drop balls that were not on Jalen Daniels' fault. It's the wide receivers who just couldn't come down with it. But, I mean, I think that's one thing that they're going to have to do. I'm not going to put Florida State as the best team right now, even though they probably had the best team, second best or probably the best team performance in week one. But I think Florida State is bound to do something good. And who knows, by the end of the year, if they put all these pieces together, they can be the number one team and a national champion. And I'm not going to rule out LSU this year just because they have to still go play Alabama. And if going to Alabama still with one loss, that's the game of the year right there for them, especially if Bama loses this week coming up against Texas. I don't think they are. But if they do, then that's a playoff fight right there like it was last year. I mean, that's a big playoff implication. So LSU's got some things to figure out, but give it time. It's the first game. It was probably the biggest game. It's probably the biggest game of the year for them. So let them figure that out, and I promise you Brian Kelly will come back and get that team to where they need to be.
Yeah, well said, man. It wasn't, I obviously picked LSU. Everyone knows that. The biggest thing for me was not a confident pick. I don't think anyone was picking in these games. This game specifically was confident either way they picked. I think the biggest surprise was how much more. For me, there was a massive skill difference. Florida State was
it was mismatched.
They were way more skilled, man. They just had better players. And I told you last night, we were talking about it, it's like you're like saying sorry and stuff. And I was like, man, I can't be mad if the better team won. It's different if,
I mean, I gotta have some respect for my dogs. I have a soft spot for LSU. I respect them. But I mean, last night they got outplayed. But I think another thing about this Florida State team, and I hate to cut you off.
No.
Florida State has been playing a lot longer with each other. These players have. Jordan Travis has been that quarterback for a while. It's been kind of hit or miss because he's been benched a couple times. But I feel like this team has been together longer than this LSU team has.
Yeah, you could definitely make a case for that. It felt like my biggest thing, first thing I want to say, I want to give respect to Florida State. I do think there's a part of it where LSU was probably not the fifth best team in the country, technically. I think a lot of people could agree on that. But that I don't want to take anything away from Florida State because they beat a legitimate top 25, top 15 team in this country.
I mean, coming into the season, I thought LSU was the best fifth-ranked team, and who knows? I mean, I told you that you could have swapped them in Alabama out between 4 and 5 just because y'all have the quarterback.
Yep.
Y'all have a veteran quarterback, the only veteran quarterback, in my opinion, in the top 5 besides J.J. McCarthy. But Jalen Daniels has been starting since he was a freshman.
Yep. Yeah, and the biggest thing, so like I was saying, is just you don't want to take anything away from Florida State, and this is what I got to say about Florida State. They have the most offensive talent in the country. The only team
I believe that. I will say that as a full fact, yes.
Yeah, and the only team that you could maybe even you could throw into the conversation is in Ohio State because what happened? Oh my gosh,
this quarterback's elusive, bro. Like dude. I'm telling you, he is a smart. They came out saying that he makes the right decisions. He's making right decisions.
He's a dog. But like I was saying, it's a talent thing. Florida State was talented last year. They brought in some ridiculous ridiculous transfers, man.
Oh yeah, dude, they hit. Just imagine if they had Travis Hunter.
Just imagine. But
Just
that's
imagine.
my thing is, and I was talking about the offense being the most talented. You can make a case the defense is just as talented skill-wise.
That defense
They had
is
players
good.
Players everywhere. So my biggest thing, the biggest takeaway for me is LSU was just outskilled and outcoached. Mike Norvell came into that game with a game plan, and they executed it. And when the game plan didn't work, they adjusted. And that's one thing LSU
here's a player.
just did
Here's a
not
player.
do.
Jared Veers. Jared Veers. Edge rusher that edge rusher. He was balling last night, dude. Like he was having a game.
He's always been a dog.
I think Mel has him like top 5 or top 10 this year for the draft.
He would have been a first-round pick. He could have went last year. He'd have been a first-round pick, but he said no.
I'm glad he stayed because I mean this he gives Florida State an even bigger chance to do something on that defensive side of the ball. Because I mean, as you said, I was shocked that their defense was as good as it is last night.
Yeah,
like their defense was amazing.
It was
like I mean, yeah,
it was.
They gave up some botched plays. But they still play in that second half. They played really, really good.
They played very good. And the biggest thing was the offenses looked unstoppable early on. The defenses adjusted. Coming out of the half, Florida State said, we're stopping. We're stopping this quick pass from LSU. And if we allow it, we're staying in front. We're going to tackle. We're not going to allow the big plays. And that's how Florida State won this game in the second half. LSU just couldn't move the ball. They couldn't move the ball. Offense.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, whoa. Oh, yeah, I'm a little behind. But that was the biggest thing for me is Mike Norvell, man. He got that team ready.
He came in to coach a game, dude.
Yes, offensively, defensively, looked incredible. And made the adjustments. Big thing for me, too, and I've got to put this on the entire LSU coaching staff. What the hell position is Harold Perkins playing this year, bro?
Dude, I don't know because it seemed like I barely saw him on the field. I didn't hear his name called at all half the time.
He didn't make a play.
Like, I mean,
he didn't make a single play last night.
I don't know where they're putting him. Like, I mean, I thought he was an outside linebacker.
He was in
and now
coverage,
they want to put him at the
game. It was so weird.
Yeah, and now they want to put him at the edge. Like, I mean, now they want to put him at safety. Who knows? Like, I mean, they're trying to move him around like Isaiah Simmons. He's not Isaiah Simmons. It's very hard to be a high caliber hybrid player on a defensive side of the ball like that. Harold Perkins has the build to be a good coverage player, but also when he comes off the edge, or if you send him off the edge, like, I mean, disguise the blitz and just send him, he's getting back there.
Yep.
Tracking down quarterbacks, he's getting back there.
Yep.
I mean, he is a scary matchup in the coverage game for sure, though, because he can match up with tight ends, he can match up with running backs, and he'll match up with some wide receivers depending on like the position battle. But they just don't know where to play because once again, last year I was hearing this guy's name. After that Arkansas game where he tore it up, I was always like continuously hearing this guy's name, possible Heisman contender or a Heisman sleeper.
He was rumored to possibly go top 5 in this draft, and that's my next point too, is if he keeps playing this stupid position that he's in, they're going to kill this kid's draft stock.
Oh, yeah, they're going to kill his career for sure, and that's what's going to suck.
It's so weird. I texted Nolan before the game. I said, I feel like we're going to get a Harold Perkins game. I'm not saying he's going to dominate, but he's going to have a couple big plays, and he didn't even have the opportunity is my biggest thing. It's like, it's not even it's not even me talking bad on his talent. It's that they didn't put him in situations to make the play. And
no, they didn't.
And that's what LSU's supposed to do. That's what the coaching staff is supposed to be getting the team prepared for, getting Harold Perkins prepared for. So that's my biggest thing when I say LSU got outcoached. I did not like their game plan. Defensively,
it was a weird game plan. It was weird just because
defensively they didn't play bad. It was like just weird things. Like Mingo was dominating in the interior defensive line for LSU.
Oh yeah,
all game. He was always getting to the backfield. Every single step, it felt like he was in the backfield. But it was just weird things. Weird things, busted plays, allowed Jordan Travis to run around and find open receivers. And I gotta
give him time too.
Hey,
that Florida State offensive line played good.
Oh, I gotta give it to Florida State though. I mean, they had like 4 or 5 drops that saved LSU from it being bad early on. It's like that was the biggest thing going in the half for me. It's like LSU was ahead, and I'm over here like, first of all, it should have been more. It should have been 23-14 because of the two field goal attempts they probably should have taken. I don't hate decisions. I hate the play calls. I would have gone for it, just not with those play calls. But it was, you're ahead 17-14. Florida State has like 2 or 3 drops that would have been big plays, and it's just like,
yeah, like scoring, lucky. Like they should have scored on those big drops for sure.
And I was just like, we're lucky. LSU's lucky right now. Like we've been outcoached. We've made terrible decisions when it comes to not taking points when we should have taken them. That first drive, that is a momentum killer. You go all the way down the field, get down to the 1-inch line, and still not score.
And not get into the end zone. It's a killer for sure. I mean, that's a drive killer. That's a mental killer as well for the sidelines, because I mean that's bringing everybody down.
Yes, and it brings Florida State up.
I was sitting up at the bar last night, and me and Gabe and my friend Tracy, we were all sitting down having a drink, and Jordan Travis was playing good, and I was like, oh my god, like they just scored again. Keon Coleman just scored. I was like, oh my gosh. Keon Coleman and Jordan Travis are the next best thing. And some dude at the end of the bar was like, he's only going to win like 7 or 6 games. And I looked at this dude and I was like, are you smoking crack right now? Like, are you insane? I don't know if you watch ball, dude, but watch this game right now and tell me otherwise. Because Jordan Travis right now has escalated himself up to like top 3 in Heisman right now.
Yep.
I mean, we'll get into the Heisman conversation later in the pod, but I mean, it's insane how good that offense played last night.
Yep.
And I think the season's not over. Season's not over for LSU.
It's not.
They still have a chance if they go and beat Alabama again.
I mean, it's the exact same situation as last year. They control their destiny. The LSU had a much easier path. They had a actual path. If Florida State lost that game, they weren't going to make the playoffs. LSU controls their destiny once again. I just don't know. I don't know, man. It's your second year, and you still make the big mistakes you did last year, and like you did last year in the first game of the season. I know the team will get better, and they'll fix those mistakes, and they'll clean it up. I just don't know, man. I don't know. I just don't know if LSU.
I didn't feel like y'all hitting the transfer portal enough either as well. I don't feel like y'all's transfer portal was a big success.
It's skilled players. They don't have a lead running back. I think Neighbors is a legit one, but they don't have anybody beside him. The cornerbacks. Our best cornerback is a Syracuse transfer. It's like no disrespect to Syracuse, but. And that guy got cooked up by Keon last night. So it's just one of those things for me. I'm going to support him till the day I die. But
as you should. LSU, that's what I'm going to be like next week, win or lose.
Exactly. But LSU, they just got outplayed, outskilled. They were not the better team on Sunday night, and I got to give all my respect to Florida State.
And I mean, full respect to both quarterbacks coming into that game as well. I mean, both played the best that they could. But speaking of quarterbacks, I mean, we saw some good quarterback play Saturday, but we also saw some struggling quarterback play, and that would be Ohio State. Kyle McCord did not have the best game, in my opinion, as his starting debut. You know, the pick that he threw, I didn't get to watch the game, so I mean, I went to YouTube, watched the film, and the pick that he had was they took away his first option. It was a rollout to the right. They took away his first option, and he tried to make a play out of something. He tried to make something out of nothing. Crossbody over the middle, picked off. Yep. It was only one pick, so it's not bad. But the way it was a bad decision making. It was a bad decision make.
Yeah.
Because Kyle McCord coming out of high school, I think it still has potential to be a really good quarterback. He waited his time. He did everything that he had to do. He's reunited with his former high school wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr., who I still think had a subpar. Had a subpar game last Saturday. But I think Ohio State as a team did not look their best. Defense looked really good. Defense played really, really good just to give up 3 points. Offense was kind of mid. But I mean, after you lose you lose Paris Johnson, you lose DeJuan Jones to the draft, and then you lose your starting quarterback in CJ Stroud, who just also got named a captain for the Texans. So, congrats to our boy, team captain. Let's go. I think losing those offensive linemen was the biggest part, just because you don't have that experience and veteran leadership on that offensive line. Because last year, CJ Stroud had immense time to be in that pocket. Kyle McCord's going to have to work his way through this, kind of make those decisions a little faster. It's the first game, so I'm not going to really hold a lot over it. I think they get a lot better at this time, but it's also a brand new team for Ohio State to figure out.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to bash on McCord. I'm not going to bash on him at all. I just, it's going to be a work in progress for sure. Also, they had a really dominant run game at the beginning of that game. Like their running back room, like Henderson, oh my gosh, he's still going to be a monster. He's going to be a monster in the NFL depending on where he goes. But they had a dominant run game. I'm talking about run the ball down your throat.
Yeah.
And so I think, give Kyle McCord a little bit more time, let this offense get on the right track of producing the big plays that they were doing last year. And defense defense, as I said about Florida State, can only go up from there. So, let that defense continue what they're doing, and Ohio State can still be in the playoff talk for sure. But right now, I'm not going to put them as a top 5 team right now. Keep them in the top 10.
Ooh.
But I don't know. It's a top 5. I think they're a top 5 team, dude. It's just the way they struggled is not what I'm used to Ohio State looking like. But also, we were spoiled with them having one of the best quarterbacks to play the game. But it's gonna be fine, Ohio State fans. Don't worry. You won the game. Only games you need to worry about, honestly, are Penn State. That's the one game that I think you're gonna have to worry about.
And Notre Dame.
But that's gonna have to be after the Notre Dame game, as I said. Yeah, as Nathan just said, I forgot about that one. That's gonna be a big game as well. They don't have an easy schedule.
No.
So McCord's gonna have to grow up for sure.
Yeah, that last statement. That's my biggest takeaway from this game. He's young, no experience. It's just
made some mistakes.
He looked like a young, inexperienced quarterback. I'm not extremely concerned because it's just all new. Everything McCord is doing is new. The speed, the skill set he's playing against, the timing, it's all
the game,
different.
Like the game speed compared to C.J. Stroud. Compared to him, C.J. Stroud was reading defenses and everything and pointing out every little thing on the field.
Yep.
Kyle McCord is still trying to figure that out.
Yep, and that's the biggest thing. That's my real biggest takeaway of this is he's just young. Got to give him some time. The concerning thing for me is that this was against Indiana. Either Indiana has a pretty legit defense or, like we said, Ohio State's struggles are pretty real. I do want to say, I can't remember exactly what that spread was, but I think it was like 30 points. That was disrespectful.
Yeah, dude. It was 23-26 is 26-point spread. It wasn't the best.
No, I'm talking about going into the game. I think it was like
going into the game? Yeah, dude. It was double digits for sure. I think it was like 35, 40 points, and they didn't even cover it.
I'm about to find out. Yeah. Well,
it's not like the worst team to go against just because I feel like they have a solid defense. Their defense played super good.
30 freaking points. I'm sorry.
Wait. They covered it?
No, it was a 30-point.
Oh, it was a 30. Okay. Oh, free play? Pick.
Oh, my goodness.
There's a flag. There's a flag, though.
Oh, my goodness. Probably
coming back. What do you mean? Was it a free play?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know. Ooh. What do we got?
It was bound to happen, dude. He's been throwing balls like that all freaking night.
Does not look good.
It does not look good. Clemson.
This is definitely impacting my top 25. Either way, whatever happens in the rest of this game.
Yeah.
Offsides.
Whoever went. Oh, dude, that's a killer.
That sucks. But no, that's the biggest thing for me is young. I do want to say it's crazy that Indiana was that big of an underdog. They have a pretty good defense. They had skilled players. They were playing fast.
Their offense was trash. I won't lie. Their offense was
horrible.
Pretty dog water.
Horrible. But Indiana has had this weird, they've kind of had Ohio State's number. Not to where they beat them, but they compete with them. It feels like
that year with Michael Penix Jr., dude, where they just he was balling out. They probably could have won that game, depending on how it goes. They've had Ohio State's number, and I promise you, they will get it next year for sure. Yeah. They'll get one in these next couple of years. Did you know this? LSU plays next season to start off the season. Y'all have to play USC?
Yes.
I saw that yesterday
I
on
didn't realize that.
ESPN, dude. I was like, what the heck?
Yep, I didn't know that either. So
And it's in Las Vegas.
that's such a tough game.
I've never seen y'all play that team in my life. And
That's
I've
gonna
been
be
alive for
weird.
23 years. I've never seen y'all play that team.
That's gonna be, why we give ourselves some hard first games, man. I like it. It definitely looks good on the ending schedule for sure if you can actually win the game. But no,
So, I mean,
the last
I don't think
few things-
anybody needs to worry about Ohio State right now.
No,
I think Ohio
yeah.
State's going to be fine.
Yeah, I agree. It definitely feels like they've got time. They get 2 more warm-up games before their highly anticipated matchup against Notre Dame. I've got to see improvement.
That's in South Bend, isn't it?
I think so. I'll tell you.
I think it's in South Bend.
Tell you right now.
That's going to be an even bigger game changer, too.
At Notre Dame. Yes, sir.
Ooh,
But,
man.
I mean, that's the thing, man, is you got 2 more games. I've got to see improvement. If I don't see improvement between these 2 games, they're easy games. They're not playing.
I need to see like 40-plus points on the board next time.
They're playing
I need to see
Youngstown State, Jesus, and Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky's got a good offense, but that's about it. If you got to go out there and beat these teams down. Look good.
Yeah.
McCord needs to get some confidence going in
Listen,
that Notre Dame
everybody, last Saturday was blowout city for everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody was blowing teams out. Oregon put up 81. Oklahoma had a shutout game like 73-0. Alabama 56-7. Ole Miss 73-3. Like, I mean, these blowout games, man, that's what I need these next 2 games to look like. I need Ohio State to come out. I need Marvin Harrison, first off, to have a touchdown this game.
Yeah,
he didn't have a touchdown last game, and he also got hurt, scared the heck out of me. Like, I mean, I need to see improvement for sure, but the biggest improvement I need to see, and I think we both agree, is Kyle McCord growing up these next few games.
Yep.
And like Notre Dame is his proven game, because if he doesn't prove it, bound to get benched for the backup quarterback, who's also just as talented as he is.
Yeah, he's so fast. So,
like, both quarterbacks are good. Don't get me wrong, but Kyle McCord, I think, can still be the guy. He just needs to improve.
McCord's got a lot more. There's a lot more like ooze. I know that the other kid can run. He's fast. He's an athlete, but McCord.
You gotta have an arm talent. You gotta have arm talent, bro.
And
like,
McCord's
be
got
able to
it.
throw.
He made a couple throws where you're like, okay, that's
Kyle
McCord.
Kyle made some really good throws last week where you were like, okay, hey, there it is. Something like he hit the tight end down the seam on one play for a touchdown.
Stover is a dog.
Dude, Dilbert could be a monster next year. I mean, he's got like the perfect build for the tight end too.
Yes. All right, that'll do it for us. Though we could talk about Ohio State, but let's move on to the Battle of the Carolinas. CDM.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. These big plays for Duke, man.
Duke's making these big plays, but now they need to capitalize off of them, man. I mean, they're just not getting in the end zone. You can't go 3 straight field goals. I mean, that's not doing anything.
Nope.
Okay, yeah. Battle of the Carolinas, though, that was kind of a disappointing game, in my opinion, just because I like South Carolina. But when you get sacked 9 times in a game, it's kind of hard for you to be good.
Yep.
And that's the one thing about North Carolina that you pointed out to me, is that their defense played actually really good.
For them.
Their defense played really good for a North Carolina team. Mac Brown also got his 100th win as a North Carolina head coach. So once again, to the legend, sir. Props to you, sir.
The first coach of all time to win 100 games at 2 universities.
Dude, that's GOAT status.
He's up there, man.
Like, I mean, I know Nicky's won 6, or I know Nick's won 7, but I mean, Mac Brown, 100 wins at 2 colleges. That's GOAT status for sure.
He's up there, man. He's the oldest coach. The second oldest is Nick. So it's like by a couple months or something.
Uh-oh.
What's happening? What's happening?
Duke's driving down the field.
Woo. Minute left. But yeah, I 100% agree with that statement. I was shocked how good North Carolina really looked execution-wise. I mean, their best player, Drake May, didn't even have a great game, I could say. And 2
touchdowns and 2 interceptions is not the best. I mean, it's for his standard, in my opinion, just because Drake May is the second best quarterback in college football right now going into the draft.
Yes.
That spot can easily be taken by any other of these star-studded quarterbacks that are coming in as well. So, I mean, it just depends. But, I mean, North Carolina's defense did what they needed to do and showed up.
Yeah.
South Carolina's team or South Carolina's offensive line kind of just sold on them, kind of just sold on Spencer.
It was bad. It was bad, man.
And you watched that game more than I did, so you probably can give more input. But, I mean, from what I saw in the highlights, I mean, Drake May made the throws that he needed to make, showed off the arm talent, showed off the decision-making. But also he had those 2 interceptions. They were kind of bad, made some mistakes, but that comes with it as well. I mean, first game of the season just doesn't need those to happen again in these other big games that are coming up.
Exactly. It's watching Drake. You could see it. You see where the hype's coming from.
You see the poise and calmness around him.
He is calm. He's cool. He's collected, and he makes so many good decisions. He made a couple bad ones. Yes, he did. But the biggest thing for me is, man, the skill that man has when it comes to throwing a football.
It rivals Caleb Williams for sure.
I think he's got better control of the football than Caleb. He's got control of the football that is NFL level, where he can put the ball in the right spots. Yeah.
Oh, when he rips it, dude, it's like when he rips it, it's perfect spiral.
Oh.
It's perfect placement right over the shoulder when it's a deep ball.
Oh, yeah.
Inside routes, I mean, it's right here where they can catch it or out a little further where the defender can't reach it. I mean, he is going to be a special talent, whoever gets him next year.
Yes.
Like whoever gets him in the draft next year is going to get a special talent at quarterback for sure.
100%. But like we said, it wasn't a perfect game for Drake. And the biggest story for me was that defense, man. Like you said, 9 sacks. South Carolina, I don't want to take anything away from North Carolina, just like I said with Florida State. But that offensive line is terrible. Horrible.
That offensive line's trash, bro. They sold. You can't, Spencer Rattler played the best that he could. He had a good stat line. He had over 300 yards. I think he only missed 9 passes out of the game,
yeah,
0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. So that's really good. But he didn't get up on the board. But you cannot get up on the board when you don't have time in the pocket. Fix the offensive line, because honestly, everybody's thinking about South Carolina. Okay, hey, they're going to make a little move in the East. Be a rival against Georgia again, rival Tennessee, teams like those. But you're not going to be anything if your offensive line, Georgia's going to eat you and spit you out, dude. They're going to get spanked by teams if they can't fix that big problem, especially with the quarterback talent they have. They have a quarterback, dude. Spencer Rattler's no slouch.
No, he's great. He's a great quarterback.
In my opinion, he's still good. I think he's a top 5, top 10 quarterback in this year's draft class as well.
Yep.
But you got to figure out, you got to save him and keep your quarterback safe if you want to start winning games, especially in the SEC. And they have a schedule, bro. They have a very hard schedule.
Don't they ever, bro.
Besides having to play Georgia, they still have to play Tennessee. They still have to play Florida, which I really wouldn't worry about Florida. Florida looks god-awful.
Mm-hmm.
Kentucky, which Clemson. Kentucky has a quarterback too in the North Carolina State transfer.
Yes.
You got to fix those problems to make a competition. And once again, North Carolina is no slouch either. They made the ACC championship last year. But you got to fix those problems to make to compete in the league that you're in. And North Carolina, in my opinion, is looking like they can compete in the ACC and possibly go back to an ACC championship, win it. And if depending on how it is, if it's if they have one loss, you said they don't have to play Clemson. They don't have to play Florida State this year. Yeah, they don't have to play Florida State in the regular season. So they can meet Florida State. It could be an undefeated Florida State team versus North Carolina. And that's a playoff that has playoffs written all over it.
Yep.
It just depends, because North Carolina has the quarterback talent to do so and has the talent around him. Because I think North Carolina has always had the talent, or an offensive based talent for sure. It's just defense has always been the biggest question.
Yes. And man, I'm not looking too much into it. It's hard to just kind of look at that game and be like, the defense is back. They're back. They're going to be a top 20, 25 defense. And it's easy. This team just needs a top 40 defense, and they could compete.
Dude, they were in the 130s last year. They were
bad.
They were pretty bad.
And they've always had great coaching, great recruiting. It just feels like, for me, it's shocking that the defense has been so bad. And now when you watch last night, it's like this is how North Carolina should be with Mac Brown as a head coach, the great defensive coordinators, coaches and stuff. It's kind of shocking they haven't been good till now. Obviously, it's one game. You don't want to look too much into it. But when it comes to, the ACC, like you said, who else? Obviously, Clemson's struggling with Duke. Duke might be a good team in the ACC this year, but
I mean, there's 17 seconds left in this game, in the first half of this game right now, and it's 7-6. So I mean, there's struggles for sure. Fumble.
Oh my goodness, no.
There's 10 seconds left, bro. It's 10 seconds left. They're gonna need a miracle play. They're on the other side of the 50. They're gonna need a quick play to get out of bounds.
Again, they don't get points.
Like, I mean, Duke is playing good to hold Clemson to only 7 points in the first half.
Yeah, but that defense can.
But I mean, their offense. This quarterback needs to. I mean, this quarterback's doing all he can, but the skill players are like literally selling this game right now.
This is tough. That's tough to watch.
This is tough. Let's see. So North Carolina. Let's see. Their next biggest game. I mean, honestly, they don't play a ranked opponent anymore until the Clemson game, and they have to play Clemson in November. But I mean, they play App State next week. Then they play Minnesota. They play at Pittsburgh, Syracuse, Miami, Virginia, Georgia Tech, Campbell.
Really a cakewalk.
And then guess what? And then the final 3-game stretch is Duke, at Clemson, and NC State, and their biggest test is Clemson. I mean, this is a soft schedule. Like, I saw Georgia's schedule and I thought that was soft. This is just a cakewalk. But they'll find a way. They'll find a way to bonch it, dude. They'll lose to like a Minnesota and a freaking like Campbell.
I was about to say, you're doubting the Camels over there.
Yeah. I mean, that's what North Carolina does, though. Sometimes they just kind of. As I said about Penn State, they kind of just beat themselves sometimes. Yes. So that's one thing they have to watch out for is do not beat themselves. So, I mean, that's all I can really say about this North Carolina, South Carolina game. That North Carolina right now has one of the easiest paths to go play for their conference title. And I think it's going to be against the Seminoles too. I think we could get a North Carolina FSU. That would be a fun ACC championship right there.
Wouldn't it?
That would be a fun, especially if North Carolina's defense is like on fire. Like I'm talking about like top 10, top 15. Florida State's on fire too. ACC championship game.
Two of the best quarterbacks in the country, man.
Could be number 1, number 2 overall if you think about it. If you don't watch out, if Caleb doesn't watch out, his spot for that number 1 spot can get taken. But I don't want to read.
Caleb stays back.
He's playing bums, dude. He's played San Jose, Nevada. Of course he's going to be good. The dude literally has 9 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. But who you played right now? He played bums.
Bums,
like big bums. Like, no. Respect him. I respect the game, obviously, but those first 2 teams are cakewalks.
Very much so. I'm glad they got to play us next year, game 1, even though hopefully Caleb goes to the draft.
Caleb probably won't be there.
God, I hope not.
If Caleb's there by the time, first off, if he stays next year, if he stays in college, it's going to be really, I'm not going to support that.
That's going to suck. I hope we don't have to play that next year. All right, let's move on. Last thing we'll do for the recap, and we talked about some good teams. CDM, give me one team that we haven't talked about that really shocked you this week, one.
Oh, man, there was a lot that really shocked me, and I kind of just want to go with some of these upsets. Did you know that Texas was the only team in the state of Texas who did not get upset? Baylor got beat. Yeah, Texas Tech got beat.
That Baylor loss was bad, bro.
Dude, that Baylor loss and that Texas Tech loss was just so embarrassing. Like, it was bad. But a team that I did watch yesterday and that has a quarterback that transferred from Clemson, actually, Oregon State. Oregon State did not look bad. DJ looked good. Yet again, was it against a trash opponent? I think it was a San Jose team, something like that.
It was San Jose State again.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, he looked good. Like, I mean, he looked a lot more comfortable than he did at Clemson. And I'm talking about he was strong in the pocket. That offensive line, first off, dude, they didn't play anybody. But still, they gave him enough time in that pocket to work it out and find for decision-making and find his target. And DJ's got that strong arm, dude. And it's just like a line. It's a straight bullet to the chest.
Yes.
He had a really good game yesterday. So that's another team. Pac-12 right now. Pac-12 is looking like one of the best conferences right now, just because of the quarterback play and just because all their teams are undefeated right now.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. I watched that game too. DJ did look good.
He looked so. I like him. I liked him in an Oregon State jersey just because I know this kid can be good. I mean, he came in the same class with Bryce Young, so I know what talent. And we saw from that Notre Dame game a couple years ago, his freshman year, when he played and Notre Dame beat him. He still played a good game, and that game went into double overtime. A freshman DJ led that team to go play in South Bend and almost win that game. So he looks a lot more comfortable, a lot more poised, and looks like he's enjoying the game again. I mean, also, when you're throwing up 5 touchdowns a game, I bet it does feel nice. Because also, they're not using him like they use him at Clemson. They're not asking him to run QB draws 3 times, like a couple times a game. He's the number one guy there, too. He doesn't have anybody that's going to take that job away from him. So that's just one team that really stuck out to me. I looked at them today, and it just stuck out because, I mean, people are going to sleep on DJ, but I think if he continues to play like he is and continues to bump those stats up, then some NFL team out there is going to be very lucky to have him. I mean, dude's 6'5", 6'6" with a cannon.
Yes.
I mean, who wouldn't want him? Just let him get mentor him, and I promise you he'll be a franchise guy.
100%. I really like that one a lot. The one team that shocked me, and once again, a lot of these teams played nobody, so it's kind of picking teams that beat teams they should have smacked, but one team that
beating the school of the blind and hopeless.
Yeah, exactly. Literally, this team, it did look like it after that this loss. I'm going with the Ducks, brother. I'm going with the Ducks. Oregon, baby.
They put up 81.
That in itself, they pulled a Kobe on the Portland State.
They really did pull their Kobe on them.
Jeez.
I mean, I'll give them that. Once again, I think I like that pick. It's just Pac-12 right now, dude. It's scary good.
Scary good. I'm gonna read you these stats. First of all, Bo Nix goes wild, as he should have. It was a nobody, like we said. 23 of 27, 287, 3 tuds. All right.
That was just passing. Did he not have any rushing touchdowns either?
No rushing yards. But listen to this.
Oh, wow.
Listen to this, though. Oregon still ran the ball for 348 yards.
Listen, dude, if you have a balanced running game and a balanced pass game, it's going to be hard to beat a team like that.
Lethal. Their lead running back. Listen to this. This is Randy Moss numbers here in a different capacity. Running the ball, 4 carries, 119 yards, and 2 tuds. 4 carries.
What's this dude's name?
Bucky Irving.
Bucky Irving?
I've never heard of him. Didn't know he existed.
So he had 4 carries, 109. Dude was averaging at least 30 yards a carry.
Literally on the dot, 30 yards.
Literally 30 yards a carry. My God, that offensive line was probably just part the waters.
Part the waters, bro. It was
Oh, my God, dude.
The stats are wild.
I'm not going to imagine him to do that every game, but I mean, 30 yards a carry, if that's happening.
Yeah. 2 receivers with 100 receiving yards and 2 receivers with 2 tuds, both of them the same guy. Both had 7 receptions. This team cooked. Obviously, like I said,
team cooked for real.
Reiterating, they should have cooked, and this is honestly expected. But for a team to put up 81, and I mean, literally, they didn't. This team was so good all game.
Well, I was just about to ask you, who had the worst beatdown this past weekend besides Oregon? Oregon had the most points scored, but who had the worst beatdown?
I'd probably say the worst beatdown would probably be.
So they're talking about my boy Jalen Milroe.
I think you could probably make the case for Oklahoma, Arkansas State. Arkansas State's coach was crying after the game, bro.
Oh, yeah, dude. I saw that. They had a player consoling him because he was on the ground crying.
That's got to be the...
You know, it's Tennessee's former head coach?
Heupel? Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Former Tennessee head coach. He coached at Alabama, too. Heupel was former Tennessee's head coach a couple years ago.
He was coaching. I thought... Oh, no, Butch Jones. Oh, it's Butch Jones. I was about to say Heupel got, He's like coaching PE now because he was paying those players. Okay, yeah, I forgot about this guy.
Literally, I was looking at it and I was just like, what's wrong with his face? And I saw tears just flowing. I was like, dang, this dude's down bad. But when you get shut out 73 to nothing, I'd be crying too.
Yeah, I got to look at these stats, man. Like you said, this is if you're crying after a game, you definitely got beat down the.
No,
worst.
if you make the head coach for the other team cry after the game, you should you should feel bad for yourself. You should feel, not even for yourself. You should feel bad just for making a grown man cry on the sidelines.
They barely cracked 200 total yards. Oklahoma had, oh my God, Oklahoma had 640 total yards. Their backup quarterback went perfect, bro. 11 of 11.
That right there. I mean, Dylan Gabriel is another quarterback to watch out for in the league. I mean, he coming out of UCF, bro, he's still good.
He cooked. Good God.
I mean, he cooks, dude. And for a lefty, I mean,
3 incompletions, bro. That's ridiculous.
3 incompletions. I think he had like 4 at halftime. They were pushing him to go for like over 500 yards and over 6 touchdowns.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh my goodness. All right, let's get off of this. We could talk about these beatdowns. There's a lot of them, but yes, like you said.
But I think I liked your Oregon take, and we both picked the Oregon schools. Won't you look at that?
Exactly, Oregon State,
Oregon State, and Oregon. I mean, I think those 2 teams in the Pac-12. I mean, once again, Pac-12, I think is going to be the most fun conference to watch this year.
110% agree. Let's get this thing moving though to our playoff and Heisman watches. Obviously, everyone listening, we will be dropping our top 25 after this Clemson game. But tonight we're going to give you our top 6 teams in the top 25. And if you want to find out what our top 25 is, though, go follow us on Nate Dogg Sports College Football NDS_CFB.
Always love the support,
Yes.
I'm your college football analyst right here, so the content pushing out will be coming from me, and I promise you I won't lead you down the wrong path.
Yes, exactly. And we'll be giving you everything from these pods and obviously reminding you all to come watch College Kings. And if you haven't, go listen to episode 1 and 2. They are great. We're going to keep getting better at this. But
you'll love them.
Yes, exactly. But let's get into this, brother. Let's get into this top 6 teams after week 1.
Now, see, number 1 and number 2, I feel like stay the same for both of us, but It's that 3rd, 4th, and 5th and 6th spot that are just like I did 10. I did like a top 10, but I'm only going to say 6.
Okay, if you got your top 10, the only reason I didn't say I wanted to do top 10 was because if Clemson won this game, they're not my top 10.
Well, right now, since I did the top 10, I'm going to keep Clemson at 9 right now. But, I did kind of flip some people around for sure.
Okay.
But if you want to still do the top 6, we can. But I'll say my top 6, and I'll tell you like my other 3 or 4 picks right after the pod.
We'll do we'll do our top 6, and then you can just. You don't have to talk about them. Just say 7, 8, 9, 10. You can just
okay.
Say
I got you.
I'll do the same thing.
You go ahead, start us off, brother.
All right, yeah. Like you said, there's not much explanation to be said with the 1 and 2, so we'll kind of just skip over those. Georgia 1, Michigan 2.
At 2.
I mean, they did nothing to lose those spots. They looked great.
Nothing.
So keeping them there.
What about number 3? Number 3.
This one was tough.
Number 3 is the big changer just because Ohio State struggled.
They did. But like I said earlier, got to give them time. I don't want to look into that game too much, first game of the season. So I'm actually going to keep Ohio State at number 3.
I like it.
It was tough. I really wanted to put one team over them there, but I just thought, let's calm down. I'm not gonna shift too much with this top 25 list of mine after week 1. And I'm going to keep Ohio State at 3. It's tough for me to kind of move them after, they won. So
they won.
They won. They didn't. It wasn't a close game, but it wasn't a blowout. But it wasn't a close game. They obviously were the better team. So I'm going to hold Ohio State 3. That's not an easy hold for me, though. What's your number 3?
At number 3, I got Bama.
Hey, no disrespect.
I got Bama. It's just because Bama, we did not play. I'll give Ohio State this. Ohio State played a conference team in their conference. So, I mean, there's going to be a little bit of a more struggle than going up against a Middle Tennessee State. But the other thing is just I think Bama, coming in with a new quarterback in Jalen Milroe, who had a really good game. I'm not going to write off of this game too much. I'm just going to say, next week is the big test. Next week against Texas, it's definitely the big test.
Yes.
But I think Bama just played as a whole a lot better, just because I think all cylinders were firing. We've had a lot of hype coming into the season. A lot of people have picked Alabama to go back to the Natty. As much as me being a Bama fan wants to say that, I have to see a lot more going into the season, especially with Ohio State as well. I have to see them going into the season. But right now, I think Bama is the better team, just because we returned a lot more players. They returned Marvin Harrison Jr. They returned a lot of other players on the defensive side of the ball, but we also hit in the recruitment class. Our recruiting class was super good as well. And right now, Jalen Milroe kind of showed that he has a little bit more in his bag. Like, Jalen Milroe's got a bag. I won't lie. He's kind of like a point guard, shifty little point guard. You don't know what he's going to pull out next. But that's my number 3. Who you got at 4?
Yes, and so everyone knows that at 4 I had LSU last week, so I'm switching the team that beat them. I'm putting Florida State there. We talked about how great they are. Their talent, I think, is definitely top 4 in the country, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I wanted to put Florida State at 3, but like I said,
I did too.
Like I said, though, I wanna give Ohio State a couple of weeks. Obviously, if Bama wins this coming up week, things will be shifting in rankings.
Yeah.
I like teams with better wins. For me, when it comes to Ohio State beating Indiana, even though y'all smacked Middle Tennessee State, y'all were supposed.
It's a better win. It's a better win for Ohio State for sure. I agree with that. Alabama, as I said, it's a conference team that they played. They're not playing against a Middle Tennessee team. So I understand your reasoning about that for sure.
Yeah. I value big wins, and even though Ohio State's win is not big by any means, would never say that.
It's not like by the margin. It's kind of hard because mostly I think a lot of people, myself including, go off of you're supposed to put up 40 points in the beginning. Like, you're supposed to put up a number of points in the beginning, and Ohio State didn't come out and do that, but they still got the dub for sure against a division opponent, and that helps too. Winning, getting that early division game out of the way as your first game, it's going to go and show hey, we're in this division still. Nothing's going to go away. Yeah, we lost to Michigan last year, but we're on a different road this year to come back and beat the Wolverines. And I think that's that's one goal they're looking to the most is going back to the shoe this year. Or no, they're going to Michigan. They have to go to Ann Arbor.
Yes.
So they have to go to Ann Arbor this year and play Michigan again. And I think that's one of their biggest goals right now is to get back on the track of, hey, you have to remember we run this rivalry. It's not y'all anymore. But right now, Michigan is taking it by the reins. But at my number 4, I've got the USC Trojans, just because they are 2-0 right now. They are 2-0, and I know that I came out saying that they have played bums. Okay. But they are 2-0. I want to go off schedule as well. I want to go off 2-0 is a big one. Caleb Williams is still Caleb Williams. The only thing that scares me about this team is their defense. Their defense could possibly be one of the worst defenses of Power 5. Their defense is not good. Letting up 28 points to San Jose State in that first game was kind of shocking, even though you won that game. 28 points to that team is still pretty bad. Then you play Nevada. But the offensive side of the ball, you're lights out. You're good. It's not a mid-game. You have Caleb Williams, who's trying to go back-to-back Heismans and go into the playoffs this year. And we'll see what happens, but they're my number 4 team right now. I think that's going to change once they have to play a bigger opponent for sure, though. Next week, they have to play Stanford, so obviously that's not a big game, but it also could be a trap game as well.
Yeah. Yes, it's interconference.
It's interconference game, so at least we'll have somewhat of competition.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Probably just going to smack them, but
probably just going to be the same result as it's been the first 2 weeks for them. But for this to happen, Stanford's just got to have to contain Caleb Williams. That's all they're going to have to do is just keep that man contained. But that's my number 4 team right now. Who's your number 5 team?
Yep, and now I will give you your Alabama Crimson Tide. I'm holding them here. Like I said,
you put them at 5.
I put them at 5. I want to see this Texas game. I don't want to.
I understand that. I understand that for sure.
Milroe looked too good. It was to a point where it's like, and there's no disrespect to Milroe, but it was like, all right,
it surprised me too.
I just need him. I need him to do this against a Texas, an Ole Miss, an LSU, and Auburn.
Like that's what I told you before the pod. Like that botch play that he had, his first touchdown where snap was under, and then he just sprinted to the end zone. I mean, that's a cool play.
That's elite.
You're not gonna make that play against any other. You're not gonna make that play against anybody else right now. Like, I mean, against a really good opponent, first off, if you do, holy crap, congratulations. That's like really, really good. But you got to be like, the plays like that are like 1 in a million plays, and other teams like Texas are not going to let those easy plays happen like that. They're going to be prepared. They're going to see. We're going to watch this tape from this week because I mean, he beat this team. He beat Middle Tennessee with his legs, but he also beat him over the top as well. Because, I mean, running with his legs, that freed up so much space over the top for our wide receivers to get to. And I think I don't think we have the best wide receiving core. I think we have a decent one. We're Jermaine Burton, Isaiah Bond, Malik Heath, that community college transfer, Kobe Prentice, Keon Law. I mean, we have a lot of guys in the receiving room to help Milroe get around. Oh, and Jacoby Brooks as well. Forgot about him. Hey, Jacoby Brooks. Who's a sleeper. He's a sleeper.
That dude trucked someone in that game.
No, that was Isaiah Bond.
That was Bond? Okay, Bond looked good.
That was Bond, dude. He dropped him. He absolutely dropped his butt on the concrete.
Yeah. He, like I said, though, that's my biggest thing is I value big wins, and Alabama's biggest win to this point of the season is coming up this week. So I'm just that's my only reasoning why I have FSU above them. And Ohio State, they just have a better win. Ohio State has a better win. FSU has the best win of any team in the country right now, just because it was a top 10 matchup. The only team to have a top 10 matchup at this point so far. So that's no disrespect to Alabama. Alabama looks good.
Yeah, obviously.
Alabama looks good. Milroe has improved, and that's
defense looks a lot better than last year's for sure. Getting rid of Pete Golding. I told Ole Miss fans, I keep telling Ole Miss fans, I'm gonna pray for you when Pete Golding actually has to play a legit opponent. Because when Pete Golding has to play a legit opponent, it's gonna crash and burn. Because I can tell you from personal experience, he's not a good offensive coordinator. Ole Miss will find out because Ole Miss hasn't had a defense since like 1776.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. But at number 5. I'm going to reverse it. I'm going to put the Florida State Seminoles there.
Okay.
I think out of all the teams right now, they obviously had the most impressive win so far, just beating the top 5 team in the nation. Mm-hmm. And I think they can only go up from here. I think by next week, after they beat Southern by a score of 56-7,
that's actually kind of low, Carson.
56-7. That's grace. I'm giving Southern Miss a little bit of grace. They're gonna get creamed next week, bro. What do you mean?
I'm a Golden Eagle, but that's gonna be a hard game to watch.
Hey, it'd be really cool if they upset them though. God. Just imagine like the topsy-turvy world college football would be in after that. Southern Miss just goes out there to the. Oh yeah, dude. I wouldn't even be doing this anymore. Like I mean. But Florida State right now, they have to prove themselves one more time. I think they have to win that next big game. They have to win, and then they're going to be looked at they're going to have a target on their back. Right now, Georgia, no one cares about Georgia right now. Be completely honest with you, nobody cares about Georgia at the moment, and that's not me being a hater or a critic. That's just me saying they're not doing anything special. I mean, they just won their first game by a combined 48-7, and Carson Beck didn't look the best. Yeah. So, I mean, in my opinion, Florida State could make a rise, kind of like Tennessee. Tennessee had a little run last year where they beat Bama. They were ranked number 1. I think Florida State can do that, but the difference between Florida State and Tennessee is I feel like Florida State's got all the pieces around them. You had Jalen Hyatt last year, and you had Hendon Hooker last year. You have Keon Coleman for Florida State. You have Travis Hunter. I mean, you have Jordan Travis. You have Keon Coleman. You have hefty wide receiver room behind you right now and a star-studded defense. That's the one thing Tennessee didn't have last year.
And even though he didn't have a good game, Benson, that dude's a legit running back.
Benson, they had a really good game. I mean, that's one thing they have to work out is that running game for sure, because then they'll be unstoppable. Yeah. I mean, they will be, but that just goes to show how good LSU's defensive line was playing, though. Yep. Just to allow 3.5 to 6, 3.5 yards a carry. That's not bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, Florida State right now is at 5. And then can I just go ahead and say my 6th team?
Go ahead.
6th team? I'm going to take Penn State.
Oh, man.
Penn State at 6. Ohio State's not there right now. I have Ohio State at 7.
All right.
Penn State, in my opinion, West Virginia's no pushover either. I mean, they play in a big conference as well. But Drew Aller, man, holy crap. That dude is a legit weapon right now. He could go down as the best Penn State quarterback to play there. Or could go down as the best Penn State player from there. Give him some time, man. I'm telling you, that kid is going to be good. I think that this is Penn State's year to beat both Michigan and Ohio State in the same year.
I love it.
Hey, we are Penn State. You've heard me say this for years, baby. And I think now, since they have the quarterback, it's time for them to wake up.
Yes. I love it. I love it, man. I love that a lot. I hear where you're coming from. I got Penn State pretty high too, but I got to throw in USC at 6 for myself.
Okay, I got you. USC. I was wondering where you're going to put them at.
Yeah, keep them where they were for me. USC, like you have them higher. They're 2-0, but I got to see them beat a good team. So I'm keeping them
playing
there.
bums. I mean, there's 2 ways you can go off of USC. Yep. You either go off 2-0 schedule right now, or you go off of when they're going to play a legit opponent. I'm just going off of this right now. Obviously, this will change.
Yes.
Oh, man, you waited for that hole, but my Lord, nothing opened. He shuffled there for so long.
Nothing.
But yeah, no, I like the way you got USC, but I think you're doing it the right way until they play a legit opponent.
Yeah.
And I just looked at their schedule. They have to play Notre Dame and Utah back-to-back weeks, and then they have to play Oregon. But those are the only those are the only teams that are going to get in their way. And who knows, all those teams they have to play couldn't end up being top 5, top 10 teams by the end of the year.
They got Washington in there too, bro.
They play what? Uh-oh.
Touch.
This quarterback. Touchdown.
This kid. Duke. The Blue Devils.
He had 15 rushing touchdowns last year, bro.
The Blue Devils.
I mean, this kid's good.
Oh, my goodness.
Riley Leonard.
This kid, look at that. Look at that swagger, bro. Look at that swagger.
Swag, baby. Let's go.
Oh, that was a Taysom Hill play. Look at this.
Dude, look at the hezzy. And then he breaks a couple tackles. Good block downfield.
Did he stay in bounds?
Good job shaking it, tiptoeing down the sideline. Beautiful play. Wow. Never give up on a play.
He's not even gassed. Look at him.
I swear, dude, this has probably been the best. This is probably my favorite Duke quarterback to watch, probably because I've never seen another Duke quarterback play besides Daniel Jones, and I barely watched Daniel Jones play in college.
Right.
Didn't even know who Daniel Jones was when he got drafted.
I barely knew him. Did he stay in bounds?
So, for my 7 through 10 teams, here's what I got real fast. I'm not going to go into detail, but at 7, I got Ohio State. At 8, I have Washington. Washington, I feel like could be a little bit higher because Boise State at the beginning of that game, it was a game. Boise State was no slouch, as you told me. At 9, I'm keeping Clemson right there, and at 10, I got Texas.
I hear you.
But I think your teams, your 6 teams, I think are solid for sure. Obviously, our teams are going to
I think he's in bounds. He's
in bounds, dude. He's got green. There's green between that cleat and that line.
Todd.
That's a touchdown.
No,
but I think obviously our teams will work themselves out for sure in the next couple of weeks. But right now, I like our teams that we have for sure.
Yeah, I'll give you my 7 through 10 here. I'm gonna put number 7 Penn State. Like I said, I got a lot of respect for Penn State, like Drew Aller, and then 8 Washington. Washington's got my respect. I really like Washington a lot.
I got Washington at 8. I like that.
Then I got number 9, Texas. We're going to have a top 10 matchup between Texas and Bama.
Oh, you thinking Clemson loses the game?
It doesn't matter what happens in this game. Oregon at 10, baby. Let's go.
Whoa, dude, they jumped up 5 spots like that.
Yep. Just
Jumped
like
up
that.
5 spots after dropping 81 to the school of the helpless and blind.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
I know they dropped 81, but I mean,
I got the Ducks.
whoa.
I got the Ducks. The only other team.
I mean, that's a.
I thought about putting
So you
Notre
have,
Dame.
so you have 3 Pac-12 teams in the top 10.
Yes,
Okay.
I do.
I like that. Let's
Yes,
see.
I
I've
do.
got
Yeah,
I've got 3 Big 10 teams in the top
I think
10 right now.
everyone has that.
Everybody, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
Oregon.
Only 2 SEC.
I mean,
yeah.
let's see. I want to look at something. Again, let me see Oregon. Since I actually have a computer now. Yeah, everybody. I'm not on my phone anymore. I actually have a computer to do the
Yeah.
Zoom on. So
Everybody,
it's actually super nice.
I think everyone can tell in the mic quality the most.
Yeah, I actually have a microphone right here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oregon. Let's see. They play. Okay, so Texas Tech next week. Actually, we're predicting that game after this, so
Yes.
we'll get to that shortly. Hawaii. Okay. Okay. And then Colorado. So Colorado in the next 2 weeks is their biggest test at the beginning of the season. And then Stanford after Colorado. So they have to go. They play Oklahoma. They play Colorado at home, and then they go on the road to Stanford, and then they stay on the road to go play at Washington.
Mm.
That's another big test. That's probably their biggest test. That's the biggest game of the year.
Yep.
If USC is still at 6 or if they're still in the top 5. I don't know, man. Like, I didn't even know Oregon State was ranked at 18. Wow. Did not know that.
They're good.
Oregon's got a oh man, they got to play Utah as well. Okay, never mind, man. I mean, if they make it out of they can't lose to Washington, they can't lose to Utah. If they lose to USC, it's fine. That's just one loss.
Yeah, and then you gotta beat them in the championship, yeah.
Oregon's got to go back to a Pac-12 championship to be a legit contender again, dude.
Yep.
Like I'm talking about, like they have to go back there and be a legit contender.
Yep.
And I mean, that's also if Bo Nix wants to be a Heisman favorite. And speaking of Heisman, don't you? Who are your top 5 Heisman picks right now after week 1?
Oh yeah, let's give our Heisman watch.
Because I got 2 or 3 guys from the outside looking in as well.
Okay, I like that. We're going to be calling this segment College Kings Heisman Watch. Obviously, everyone knows ESPN's Heisman Watch, but this is a better Heisman Watch.
ESPN's Heisman Watch sometimes can give me stage 4. Like, it's that bad. Like, I mean, it's just like hit or miss. You don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens.
They are shaky for sure.
It's a shaky one, but ESPN's also a shaky industry as it is.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. Yeah, we gotta poop on our competitors. Let's move to my Heisman top 5. I got a couple of players outside looking in as well.
I got you, as you should.
Yes. So we're gonna go number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb Williams. Got to holding strong there.
You really held that suspense right there. It had me thinking for a second. I was about to be like, don't say Shador or Travis Hunter. Don't say that.
Shador Sanders. No, Caleb Williams hasn't done anything. Lose that spot for me. Holds it strong until proven
9
otherwise.
touchdowns, 0 interceptions right now. He holds that spot for sure.
Just balling. So that's who I'm going to hold for right there. Number 2, Michael Penix Jr.
I like it. 5 touchdown game against Boise State. Really woke up that second half for sure.
He is that guy for me right now when it comes to, if there's one player right now in college football that could shift the entire draft, it's that man right there. So,
yeah, for sure.
Michael Penix.
I listen, we've liked him ever since he played at Indiana, bro.
Yes.
Like, I mean,
we saw
leaving Indiana was the biggest thing to do in his career. And that's not disrespecting Indiana. That's just him finding new opportunities.
110%.
Uh-oh.
Oh, good tackle.
That's a big boy right there.
That is a big ankle. Number 3, I got the man that has the biggest win in college football right now, Jordan Travis.
Okay, I like that.
He is a dog. I like him a lot. He did everything you could ever ask for him in that game. Just one mistake, and
one bad pick. I mean,
and that was it.
But
he had so many good balls.
I think he's slowly going to make his way up to probably winning a Heisman this year.
He's going to be
Like
in
if
the conversation.
he needs to beat Clemson. He needs to go and win the ACC and be a playoff team.
Yep.
And that will get him the Heisman for sure.
Yeah, at least give him a chance at it. So, yeah, number
Give
3.
him a chance. He just needs Caleb to really, really screw up.
Yeah, exactly. But, yes, that is number 3 for me. At number 4, I got the Duck himself, Bo Nix.
At 4?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes, I do.
Okay. I wanted to put him. I'll be honest with you. I don't have Bo Nix in here right now.
Yeah.
I have him I have him as one of my guys on the outside looking in.
Okay. All right.
But that's a good solid number 4 right there. Dang. I'm telling you, the Pac-12 is quarterback central right now, dude. The Pac-12 is where the quarterbacks are at.
Yes. Yes, indeed. That is for sure. And then at number 5, do I think he can win it? It's a possibility. This is more of a fun pick for me. I'm going to say Travis Hunter at 5, baby. Let's go.
There we go. I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
Show the defensive, show the cross-platform players some love.
Yeah, dang right. Had to. Do I think he wins Heisman? It's a long shot, but I had to throw him in there after what he did that game.
I think you do.
It was one of the best performances I've ever witnessed.
I mean, we said at the beginning of the pod, dude, that was probably one of the best games I've seen an individual player play.
Yes, indeed. When it comes to my guys looking in, technically, if I'm being realistic, at number 5, I would probably currently throw either Sam Hartman in there. Mm-hmm. Actually, I'd probably put Sam Hartman in there. Actually, just throw him at number 5 for me. But
number 5, okay.
I'm gonna hold strong on Travis Hunter as 5, but
okay.
Hartman looking in, outside looking in for me. I think I definitely know I'm holding strong. I said he was my sleeper. I'm holding strong until proven otherwise. Drew Aller. He's still out there for me.
Yeah, that's where I got him.
And then Shedeur Sanders, too. I like him a lot. It's another long shot.
Oh, you have him on the outside looking in?
I do have him on the outside.
Brother, I think, okay. I'll bite my tongue right now.
Bite it. Bite it all you want, brother. But, yep, my top 5. Caleb at 1, Penix at 2, Jordan Travis 3, Bo Nix 4, Travis Hunter at 5, Hartman on the outside, Drew Aller on the outside, Shedeur Sanders
I like that.
outside.
I like that. That's a solid Heisman top 5 for sure. You know, I think the quarterbacks stay the same throughout. I think Travis Hunter may fall out depending on how his play goes, just because if we're thinking about it, it's mostly a quarterback.
It is.
Quarterback award, but if he continues to do what he's doing, then totally he has a chance to win that award and be another defensive player. Oh my gosh. This Duke defense, bro, is playing good. Yeah,
K get hurt.
They're playing really good right now.
I think K got hurt.
Oh, he's getting up slow. Okay. Well, so here's what I've got. So I'm going to start from the outside looking in. So I got 4 guys from the outside looking in. So I got my boy Drew Aller. I got him. I'm gonna tell my boy Jalen Milroe right now.
He was definitely
he's on the outside looking in. Had an explosive performance.
Yes.
Jackson Dart.
Ooh, I like that one.
Jackson Dart, dude,
like
had a game. Was it against Mercer? Yes, but still had a really good game.
I like that.
And then Bo Nix as well. Okay. I thought Jackson Dart would throw you for a loop a little bit.
I'm actually mad I didn't have him in the top.
I mean, if you look at it, he had dude, they blocked it.
Oh my god,
dude! Oh my god! Hold up, wait! I just looked up and they blocked the kick. No way.
Duke's not losing this game, bro.
Wait, either they blocked it or he did. I think he missed it. I don't think they blocked it. I think he may have missed it. But still, that's still super. Look at Dabo.
He's so frustrated. Oh my goodness.
Pissed off.
Oh my gosh, I gotta see.
Those are my guys outside looking in. Jackson Dart. It just depends on what. Just depends on what Ole Miss does this year, but that's a sleeping quarterback that you need to watch out for. But I'm going to start from 5 and up. So my number 5 candidate, I got Primetime Junior himself. I got Shedeur Sanders at 5 just because of the amazing game he had, dude. Talk about he looks like one of the most poised quarterbacks in the country right now.
Love it.
At number 4, I'm going to take his teammate. No, my bad. No. I'm taking at 4. Sorry, I get the Travises mixed up. At 4, I have Jordan Travis.
Okay. All right.
Solid game. Biggest win of the week so far. Could be biggest win of the year if you think about it. At 3, taking the teammate, taking Travis Hunter at 3.
There you go.
I like it just because, I mean, we have not seen somebody do or play the game of football like he has in forever. So, I mean, you can put him at 5. He can be another most people are probably going to have him on the outside looking in. And I think a lot of people are going to have him in their top 5, but I have him at 3. And also, depending on his game, that's where it could either go up or go down. At number 2, I got Michael Penix Jr., just because he's one of the most he's a veteran quarterback. He's been here for a while. He's primed to have a good season this year as well. I think he is Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Year over Caleb Williams and maybe.
Oh, all right.
It's a big one. I know.
I like it.
Caleb can win Heisman. I think Michael Penix Jr. is going to have a better season. I also think that Washington has a better season than USC, my bad.
Yeah.
And then at number 1, have the reigning, defending Heisman Trophy winner, Caleb Williams. As you said it, as I said it before, he has done nothing wrong to stray away from him being a back-to-back winner for that award. He's doing everything right so far. Don't play against bums right now and play against some in-conference opponents. And we'll see if that teeters from, his Heisman Trophy campaign. But right now, I feel like those are my top 5. I'm very confident in my top 5 right now.
I like it.
And early Heisman winner. I'm going to give an early Heisman winner right now. And I'm taking the lefty from Washington. I'm going to take Michael Penix Jr.
Okay. Yeah.
Marvin Harrison. I know I had Marvin Harrison last week. But he had a struggle game. I think Ohio State had that struggle game in general. So, I mean, it should pick up for sure. I think Marvin Harrison should pick up for sure. But I think Michael Penix Jr. has one of the best chances to win the Heisman right now. He's just got to beat that. He's got to beat the quarterbacks in his division and go and win his division as well.
Yeah, 100% agree with you on that. I am such a Penix fan. He has all the skill set and all the ability to pull it off. He really does. He can win that Heisman. But I think that'll do it for our Heisman talks, brother. Let's move on.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Let's move on to these games. These games, brother.
And these are the games that I've been waiting for, just because week 2 has some like really big hit or miss games.
Yes, they do, and we picked some pretty good ones. We picked some pretty good ones. There's some really competitive matchups. Not a lot of there is a couple ranked matchups, but there's only 2 ranked matchups when it comes to both teams being ranked, and we're gonna predict those for you.
Yeah.
But we also got some fun ones that could be interesting. So we also are going to start keeping count. Next week when we come on the pod, I'll let y'all know what our records are technically when it comes to predicting games. And we're just gonna. It's for
we'll say we're one. We'll say we're both 1-0 right now. We won't count week 0.
We
won't count.
We're counting it. We're counting it.
We're counting week 0. Then we're 2-0. Then
we're counting. Let's counting week 1. Week 1. No, week 0. We're not counting. We're counting.
Okay. Week 0. I don't think we need to count. Yeah, week 1. I think we just say we're 1-0 right now.
No.
I think we'll say that.
No, we're not.
No. Okay, worth a shot.
No. Last week I don't think we did pretty good. I don't think we did good. So.
I think the biggest game. Didn't we both pick Colorado to win though? I think that's privilege. I think that's a big privilege right there to go
Colorado.
1-0.
I did not.
Oh wait, I picked Colorado.
Yeah.
Yep. Prime time, baby, never let me down.
You're probably ahead actually because of that. All right, let's get into this though. Ole Miss versus Tulane. Some big time matchup right there. Both ranked. Both teams are, Tulane coming off of a championship last year.
It's crazy to think that Tulane is going into Ole Miss as a ranked opponent.
A legit ranked opponent, yeah.
A legit ranked opponent. So that in Mississippi State, not Mississippi State, I'm sorry. Ole Miss is a 6-point favorite. Over under is 62.5 points.
Yeah, and now obviously shift, but right now that's what we're looking at.
Taking Tulane.
Oh, whoa. Oh, what's your we got a score prediction?
Taking Tulane. 45-42.
45-42. Got a shootout. All right.
Got a shootout just like the Colorado game last week. I like the underdogs. Tulane's the underdog. Do I think Ole Miss is going to win? Yes, just because they have such a high-powered offense that moves at such a fast tempo that it's going to be hard for a team like that, a defense like that, to really go against it, even though I don't want to say that just because of the game they had last year against USC. They win that game, and they were playing against a Heisman quarterback. So, I mean, this game could go either way. I'm going to take Tulane as the underdog, but I do expect Ole Miss to kind of win that game. But Tulane, in my opinion, can surprise a lot of people, and I think this is the team to do it against.
Oh, I like it. I like it a lot.
Also, I really want to see if they expose this Pete Golding defense. Yeah, kind of want to see that defense burn and crumble.
Yeah, you got some personal vendetta in that game.
I hate Pete Golding with a fiery passion more than I hate Bill O'Brien. Like, I hate both of them so much. Like, it's just so bad. And I need Ole Miss. I can't wait for Ole Miss fans to figure that out themselves.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny, bro. I'm gonna go the opposite actually here.
I understand.
I think Ole Miss honestly puts a whooping on Tulane and kind of slows down this Tulane hype train a little bit. And
can't wait for them to win now.
Brings down I'll say Michael Pratt, their quarterback, is really good. Really.
Oh, dude, I love Michael Pratt, dude. I followed him on when I was like a freshman in high school. I followed him on Instagram, and he followed me back, and I just kept up with him throughout the years because he had a wide receiver from high school. His name is Restrepo. He plays for Miami, the Miami Hurricanes, and he's a dog too. So I just kept up with both of them. And this kid coming into college, when he first stepped out on the field, I was like, oh my God, I follow this guy on Instagram. I know him. And I've seen the film, and he got better and better and better. And that USC, that South Cal game was his breakout game, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was.
It's funny that they lost to Southern Miss last year. Though it's one of the only 2 losses they had last year was against Southern Miss.
Mm. Yeah, for real. USC.
Southern Miss to the top, baby. If they can do it again this year,
to the top. They got them next week after this FSU game. Like
you know what? Well, I mean, they have to play another ranked opponent if Tulane wins this game because they have to play Tulane in week 3.
Yeah, give it to Southern, man. They play some tough teams. I'll give you that. I'll give them
that. They play some. They don't have the easiest schedule.
And they play Mississippi State late. They play them right before
I'm going to that game.
That's so crazy.
I'm going to that game, bro. I'm going to get a vlog for the channel.
Yes. I'm going to see if I can maybe get off of that one.
Hey, if you're up in Starkville the week before the Egg Bowl, just let you know, Nate Dogg Productions is coming to take Stark Vegas away.
College Kings will make an arrival. Yes, sir.
We're going on the road.
We should try and do like a pregame for that game.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, like a little video before that.
Like a live stream pregame pod in the car.
Yes.
Shit. We'll figure it out.
Absolutely.
But I got Ole Miss winning this one pretty big, 38-21. That is
38-21 is really not that bad. Yeah. It's really not.
I got them winning. 17 points. I think it's gonna be a good game early on. Ole Miss's offense gets cooking, and I do believe the Ole Miss offense will be good enough to stop them. I think
it's gonna be like
they don't have Ty J. Spears anymore, so.
Yeah, they don't have their starting running back, but they still have one of the Watt brothers. They still have one of the Watts brothers from Petal.
That is true.
They did. Deuce got picked up by the Green Bay Packers. I think he made the 53-man roster, so if he did, props to that man.
Awesome.
601 made. But they still have one of the Watt brothers there. I think it's Fat Watts. They still have him. So I think wide receiver game is still good, but they did lose their big running back for last year.
They do. I remember seeing him. Week 1, I think. So
I remember when they both were at JC, and then they committed to Tulane. They both committed there, and they were like, it took them a little bit to get on the scene, but once they got the ball in their hands, they were just like, okay, these kids can play, and one of them's in the NFL right now. What the Lord cannot do.
Damn right. I love it. So you got Ole Miss losing to Tulane. What was that score? 40? What was it? 42?
45-42.
45-42. I love it. Let's go to the next one. Oregon, my team that has made big improvements. And I really like them a lot now after watching that week 1 performance. But they play Texas.
After that week 1 performance, you could totally put Oregon up there in like a playoff contender.
Yeah. Now they play Texas Tech, a team that people had in their top 25 coming into the season, and
losing to Wyoming in double overtime.
I'm just gonna say I never even thought of it. I saw them on a lot of teams, and I was like,
I didn't expect it.
I gotta see, believe it. I didn't think they'd lose to Wyoming by any means, but I didn't.
Oh man, that's the one thing I love about college football, man. It's the unsurprising upsets at the beginning of the season, and that was one bit. I mean, that was one big upset was Texas Tech losing to Wyoming. The state of Texas did not do good in football, except the only team in Texas, which would be the Texas Longhorns, who won their game. Baylor loses their game. Put those horns down. Yeah, there we go. Baylor lost their game, Texas Tech lost their game, and TCU lost their game. That's 3 teams in the state of Texas who lost their games when they're 20-plus point favorites.
Hey, Texas,
TCU, 21-point favorite.
Wait.
Baylor's a 28-point favorite, I think.
Wait, didn't Texas State win with TJ Finley?
Yes, they did. Texas State did win. Okay, never mind. They beat Wow, look at that.
I forgot about that.
No, dude, I saw the post on Instagram. It said TJ Finley, and he had a game.
He balled.
Like, he balled out.
He's going to cook the Sun Belt. I think Southern has to play them like this year.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
That's not good.
Hey, at least we get to see TJ Finley.
Hey, I respect. I never thought he'd be amazing, but I did think he could play football, just not an SEC level, so.
Oh, he went from LSU to Auburn. He almost beat Alabama.
Man, he had good moments for both teams. So, but let's get into this one. Oregon, Texas Tech. This one's. If Texas Tech had won, beat the snot out of Wyoming, there'd have been kind of fun to check out this one. Big play for Clemson, but it would have been fun to check this one out if they didn't lose to Wyoming. This one feels a little bit different now.
It feels a little. It's way more to Oregon. I mean, yes. Oregon coming off an outstanding 81-point win against Portland State, and once again, school for the helpless and blind.
The Vikings.
I'm going to take Oregon in this one. For sure. There's 6.5-point favorites over under 67. I think I'm going to take Oregon winning by more than 6.5 for sure. Mm-hmm. Fumble. Duke got the ball.
Oh my goodness,
dude! Duke's defense is playing. Oh
my gosh,
I'm in shock right now, dude. I'm in shock. Duke got that ball.
Oh my gosh, they do. Oh my gosh.
Dude, what the heck is happening?
Clemson's just terrible.
Oh my gosh, dude. Clemson is trash.
I'm going to have to change my top 25. Oh my goodness.
Oh, dude, I'm going to have to change my top. I'm going to have to do that tonight.
If they win, does this put Duke in the top 25 though?
Duke's not ranked, so yeah. I mean, it just depends. I mean, TC. Dude, that's terrible.
Let's see, Duke. Out.
Let's see. Yeah. I mean, Clemson, I think Clemson leaves the top 10 for sure, top 15 for sure, dude. Clemson's going to go down to at least like...
Duke's a legit squad, man. They are winning this game.
They're winning in every way, shape, and form. They are winning in the trenches more than like it. They are winning in the trenches.
This is impressive. Yeah, let's get back into it, though. Ole Miss, Texas Tech. I'll start us off against
Oregon, Texas Tech.
What did I say? Good Texas
I said
Tech.
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, whatever. Oregon, Texas Tech. I'm going to go the Ducks, of course. 41-20. I think that offense cooks. Defense makes a statement once again. Dan Lanning, it's hard not to root. It's crazy that they put up 81 points and their head coach is a defensive-minded head coach.
Yeah, so here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say that they put up such an impressive performance. I'm going to hold them to that standard again this week, and I'm going to say they put it up. I'm going to say 51-31.
I love it. I'm
going to say that. I mean, if you're going to put up 81 points, I want to see you put up. I want to see you put up a lot more in these next coming up weeks. So don't be fooling me. Because I love my Ducks. Love the Oregon Ducks. I've always been an Oregon Duck fan.
Yes.
Especially Bo Nix. Bo Nix, since he left Auburn, has been a big grower on me. I even told my aunt Mika, Alabama fan. I was like, I know you don't have to like him, but you can like him now because he doesn't play for Auburn. He is good. He's good. There's no denying the fact anymore that he is good.
Yep. You can root for him now. So that's
yeah, dude. I can root for him now.
All right. 51-31.
Let's see. Oh, the Battle of Iowa.
This one, I really think this is going to be an interesting football game.
What did Iowa State do with their first game?
They won. They beat it was actually a pretty close game. They're not ranked. Let me look them up real quick. I know they won, though.
Let's see. Iowa State, they beat What northern Iowa? Oh, they beat Northern Iowa. What the fudge?
Iowa or Illinois? No, Northern Iowa. You're right, Northern Iowa.
Yeah, Northern Iowa, and then they have to go play Iowa.
Oh, I just died.
Yeah, dude. What's happening? They won 30-9. That's not bad. That's not a bad one, honestly.
It's a pretty good win. I mean, that's how they should have won, I guess.
I mean, anything less than that would have been bad. Oh, especially since they don't have their quarterback who was supposed to be starting at the beginning of the season because he got caught gambling.
That's right. I forgot.
Yeah, so that was pretty big. Let's see.
Interesting, but yeah, I do think this is going to be a closer game. Skill set wise, I think Iowa, the Hawkeyes are better, but this is a matchup. Iowa versus Iowa State. This is always a good game.
I like Iowa, dude. I like Iowa a lot since Cade McNamara went there now.
Yes, I completely agree with you. So for me, I do have the Hawkeyes winning. Close game though, 27-26.
Yeah. So the starting quarterback for Iowa State is Rocco Becht, Becht. Becht. He's a true freshman, 6'1", 205. Okay. From Wesley Chapel, Florida. First game, 113 yards and 2 touchdowns. Okay, not bad.
Interesting.
Completed 76% completion. I'm gonna say 77% completion. Went 10 of 13, 113 yards, 2 touchdowns. It's not bad.
No picks.
Solid game for sure.
Clean.
Cade McNamara had a game though. His debut for Iowa though. He had a really good game.
Cade looked good.
I'm gonna take the Hawkeyes in this one. I think it's gonna be a closer game. I'm gonna say 21-14. I'm gonna keep it a 7-point game. I think I think Iowa State's gonna expose Iowa on the defensive side of the ball or on the offensive side of the ball a little bit. I feel like their defense may make them struggle because I mean Iowa State defense is not that bad. Iowa in general, they could change the perspective on this and just blow it out of the water.
That'd be big. Wouldn't that be?
That'd be really big. But I'm gonna take Iowa just like you said.
All right.
21-14.
All right, so we're in agreement besides this Tulane game so far. Now this next game, this one's going to be really fun. Texas A&M versus the Miami Hurricane. A&M is a 4-point favorite over under 49. CDM, you got a pick on this one?
Oh, man. The thing is, Texas, I'm looking up Texas right now. Or Texas A&M. Their quarterback had one hell of a day.
Connor Wayman?
Yeah, Connor. That's his name. Yeah, I was trying to think of his name real fast. Says they're first in the SEC West. Get out of here, ESPN. That's not right. Tell you spitting lies.
False.
False accusations. Let's see. Connor, he went 18 of 23, 236 yards, and 5 passing touchdowns.
Jeez. What did the backup do? Did he play?
Probably. Let me see.
I wonder.
Because, I mean, this team, they played good against New Mexico State. But, I'm giving a lot of teams a lot of crap just because this was the first week of college football. It's the wake-up week. This is the perfect week to just get people back into the groove of it. So, I mean, of course, everybody's going to win some of these blowout games for sure.
Backup was Max, 6-9, 41.
Oh, yeah. I forgot Max is the backup.
Forget about that.
What was that quarterback's name for them last year? Texas A&M before Connor. He plays at Georgia. He plays at Georgia Tech. Heinz King. Is that his name?
It's gonna
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah. It's gonna kill me. Haynes King.
Yeah. That's a big upgrade for them. I've always liked Connor when he came out of high school as well. He came out of the class with Ty Simpson, Ty Simpson and all them. And he's got good arm talent. He puts the ball where he needs to be. Miami is a hit or miss right now because right now the Cristobal era for Miami has not played out the way it should have.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Cristobal coming in, having such an amazing career at Oregon, coming into Miami, has Tyler Van Dyke at quarterback, another NFL prospect quarterback, and kind of fell short last year. So it's another rematch from last year. A&M took it last year, and I think A&M takes it again this year. I think A&M's totally winning this game. Score, I'm gonna go 35-14.
A&M?
A&M 35, Miami 14.
All right. So
it's a 4-point game. I mean, Texas A&M's favored by 4, but I feel like that's an understatement, just how explosive this offense can be.
Okay.
Because Evan Stewart, wide receiver for Texas A&M, watch out.
Dog.
That's a name to remember. Dog. He woke up during that Bama game last year, bro. Oh my gosh, he was killing us. Like, absolutely murdered our secondary.
Dog.
I'm
right there with you. No, I'm not. Miami wins this game. Go you Hurricanes. We're going to you. We're going
to you, baby.
We're going to
Hurricane. Hold it to you, baby.
Hold it to you.
Hold it to you. Okay, sweet.
We're going to Miami Hurricanes.
What's the score?
31-28 game-winning field goal. No, not a game-winning field goal. Game-winning touchdown drive by Van Dyke, maybe.
31-28. Okay, I like that. That's, ooh, man, if that happens.
I feel like I just broke the system with that scream, but
you wrote the script. Did you get the leak of the script, Nathan?
I did get the leak of the script. Sorry, y'all.
What'd the script say about Texas and Alabama?
Some little birdie tells me that the Longhorns are coming into Tuscaloosa.
Is that what you're saying? Is that your pick right now? Because let's just go ahead and talk about this game.
Let's just talk about it.
Texas versus Alabama. College game day in Tuscaloosa. Bama is favored to be a 7-point favorite over under 56.5 points. Now you have to look at the now the past two. Last year we played in Austin. Very, very, very tough place to play in, especially since it was a noon game. Weather was different. Texas was on fire. If Quinn doesn't go down, Texas wins that game. Can't be any different, and I'm an Alabama fan telling you that. But our defense did come out and play that game, and Will Anderson getting that sack on Hudson Card made a big difference, but also Bryce Young being Bryce Young. Dude, this game's gonna come down to the wire.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
13-7.
I swear. So I'm obviously gonna take the Crimson Tide. I think it's going to be a game like last year, but a little bit more high scoring. Last year it was a 20-19 game. We won by a field goal. I think this year it's going to be a high scoring game.
Okay.
But I still feel like there's still going to be some of those plays like there were last year that Alabama gives up to Texas. In Texas, I think the score is going to go back and forth a lot because, I mean, Texas still has a high-caliber offense. Still a little, I'm not sure on that defense for sure. I mean, yeah, they played Rice. They only let Rice score 10 points. But in my opinion, you shouldn't let Rice you should whack them. And they put up 37 points on offense, which is still not bad at all.
JT Daniels' misery career.
Dude, I was talking to Gabe about that, dude. He is probably the worst player, and I've seen some bust in my lifetime. This dude sucks.
5-star.
This dude is awful. How do you go 4 straight seasons of having to play Texas and you lose all 4 of them? You lost all 4 games. You lost when you lost them when you played for USC. You lost West Virginia when you played with them. You lost to him against Georgia, and then you lost to him against Rice. I mean, what else do you need to do, man? I think it's just time to hang up the cleats. It's over and done with. It's over and done with. Like, JT Daniels, your career, bum. Definition of a bum.
Yeah, not a dog. Bum.
But I'm going to take the Crimson Tide. I think it's going to be a game like last year. I think the coaching is right there just because Steve has worked under Saban. Yes. I mean, he was our offensive coordinator when we won that Natty in 2020. So I think it's going to be a competitive game. I have Bama coming out on top. I think it's going to be a 31-28 football game.
Okay.
31-28. It's not the biggest score from last year, but it's a better score than it was last year for sure. At least it means a little bit more competitive. But I think it's a field goal game. I think it comes down to a field goal, and I think Texas gets their field goal blocked by Alabama to end the game.
We're in agreement on this field goal ending, but I think the Longhorns take this one.
Okay.
That is a hard pick for me. That is an extremely tough pick.
It's a hard pick right now. I mean, I'm pretty sure the country is cut in the middle between this game.
Yeah, I think the smart choice is Bama. Skill wise, they're better. I think
quarterback wise, I'm going to give it to Texas.
Yeah, both kids are unproven, but I mean, Ewers has had more highs, I would say, so far in his career.
I would say that this is Jalen Milroe's second game as a starter.
It's like he's so new to this whole starter of Alabama thing.
Yeah, I mean, he came out and had a record-breaking debut, yeah, but I mean, this is where, as I told you before, this is the big game to determine if you are going to be the starter for a contending national championship team. And it's very hard to be a starter for a championship contending team because you have so much trust built up in you by every other player in that locker room.
Yeah.
And I think whoever wins this game, this has playoff contention written all over it. Me and you talked about that before, like the pods even start, before the season even started. This was the one big game that we talked about, and whoever wins this game, in my opinion, it goes on to win their division, respectfully win their division, and make the playoffs.
Yep. Yeah.
Texas has the pieces to do it. Texas had the pieces last year to do it.
Yes.
I mean, it's up to the coaching it's up to the coaching for Texas. That's one thing I think about Texas is coaching is what they need to is like the big stamp on it because they have every player that they need on that team. They have Xavier Worthy on the outside. They have Quentin Ewers at quarterback. They have players everywhere, but they just have to get disciplined at coaching and not beat themselves in big crunch time situations.
Yes, and I'm glad you actually said that because you're not even saying to outcoach Nick. That's almost impossible to do. It's not about
It's impossible to outcoach like a coach like that, like a Nick Saban, Kirby Smart right now, Dabo, even though it looks like, oh my gosh, another fumble. Oh my gosh, scoop and score. Oh my gosh. Can Cade chase him down? Cade's got him. Oh my gosh, Clemson.
What is going on? Oh my god.
Oh, dude, Dabo's about to have a freaking aneurysm right now.
I look like alfalfa with his hair.
Dude, look at Dabo's hair right now. Yours doesn't look as 10 times as worse as that. Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
It's another. Oh man, he just got hit. It was a perfect hit. I'll give Cade respect though. Cade really just chased that kid down.
He's losing it.
Dabo's about to have a heart attack. Ooh, side note question. Is this the downfall of Clemson?
Good gosh, it looks like it, doesn't it?
They look like, excuse my language, they look like absolute just shit. They look like shit. Like they look terrible.
Say it like it is.
I mean, like they look bad, man. I've never seen a Clemson offense look this bad.
Wow. Coming out of the fourth quarter.
Fourth quarter down by one possession, and you fumble on the goal line.
Jeez. All right, let's finish this pot up so we can watch the rest of this one. But, yeah, I'll give you my last few points. For me on Alabama, it is a quarterback thing for me.
That's respectable. And that's what
I will say this. I do think this game will be very similar to last year's game.
I think it has a dramatic finish like it did last year.
Which team makes the one or two big plays? Which team is going to break that other team's will first as well? Yes.
That's what I'm thinking. And Austin playing in Austin, Texas last year, that was big.
That was.
It's in Bryant-Denny this year.
It's a different beast.
Even bigger.
That's a different beast, man.
I'm not gonna lie. I think it's a bigger test to play in Bryant-Denny for Texas than it was for Alabama going to play in Austin, Texas last year.
Yeah, I mean Bryant-Denny's a harder place to play out.
It's just a different place. I mean, it's a different atmosphere. No disrespect to my Texas fans. Like, I mean, stadium, Austin, Texas, when they have a home game there, it's electric every play. Like every time, it's an electric place to be. And last year proved it. But Bryant Denny's a different beast.
It is.
And I think that the crowd will play in with it a lot.
Yes, it definitely will play a major factor. That's why I'm a little iffy on this one. Only reason I'm going to say it, like I said, once again, I think Sark is a good enough coach to put a good enough game plan around these players. Like I said, Bama has the better players. It's if they make the big plays against a good defense.
Uh-oh, he's got a lot of room.
Can Texas make the big plays, and can Alabama counter those big plays and make their own big plays? I want it. If Bama wins this game, it's not going to be because of the defense. It's not going to be because of Nick Saban. It's going to be because Milroe got them there. And
Milroe, this is like, as I said, the make or break game.
Yeah, if he does it, if Milroe does it, he's got my respect. He's an athlete. He's fun to watch. One of the most. He's probably the most athletic Alabama quarterback I've ever seen.
He's giving me a lot of Jalen Hurts vibes.
Yeah, right. I can't disrespect Jalen like that.
You remember Blake Sims?
Blake was good. Blake was an athlete, but
running wise, I would say.
Fast.
Oh, Jalen Milroe is 10 times faster than both those guys combined. Like, I mean, I would say
Hurts is built like a running back. Milroe's like just speed.
Just straight speed. Like, you could put him out at wide receiver and he'd burn somebody.
It feels like it.
I mean, we had him running routes in last year's practice for the Sugar Bowl when we played K-State. We had him running routes. That had me thinking. I was like, is this dude really about to make a position change? Because like, I kind of want to see him. Because last year's Texas A&M game was his first start, and it was a struggle because I honestly thought we were going to lose that game.
Yeah, that one was.
But that was his first game as a starter. So now he's got some time under his belt. He's got the experience. But this is going to be the biggest game for both teams. This is the biggest game for both teams coming into the season because this, in my opinion, has playoff implications written all over it.
Yep, it does. My final score prediction on this one, 24-23, Texas hits a game-winning.
God, dude, you're going to give me anxiety.
Yep.
I'm telling you, Saturday night when we're out watching this game, I'm going to have so much anxiety during this game, bro.
All right. I'm going to have to find a way.
It's going to be insane. God. I'm not going to be able to drink. I'm just going to be over there sipping water.
Sipping
water, dude. I'm not even going to be drinking beer.
Smoking cigarettes the entire game.
No, I'm just going to have pods. Just straight. I'm going to have my charger. I'm going to have my Alto. I'm going to have my pods on deck. Carson, are you okay?
I'm fine.
It's going to be an interesting game next week for sure.
It will be.
But, you're coming down next Saturday. Yes, and another great thing happens after next Saturday is where we have football until February. That's a touchdown, baby. Oh, my God. Duke's going to do it.
Touchdown.
What's Twitter looking like
Duke
right now, bro? Have you checked?
Duke Blue Devils for the national championship.
ACC championship right there.
The champions. All right, brother. Let's get out of here. Another good pod, brother.
Everybody enjoyed it, as always, Until next week, expect that top 25 to come out, I would say, on Wednesday or Thursday, per se.
Yes.
Just because, right now it's looking like Clemson's not going to be my number 9 team after this game.
Don't think so, bro.
No, sir. This is insane. To watch it, to be on the pod and watching this happen, I love the live reactions.
Yeah, nice little live reaction for this one. Oh, they're going for 2? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Make it a 2-possession lead.
Oh. Got it.
Oh, too easy. Well, signing out for everybody. Always a pleasure, sir. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. As always, follow us on Nate Dogg Sports as well. Nate Dogg Sports, all of our special accounts, NDS_college football. That's where all of our College King stuff will be dropping, as well as Nate Dogg Sports, Nate Dogg Productions on YouTube and Facebook, Nate Dogg Sports on Instagram and Twitter. Thank you, brother. We'll do this next week.
Thank you, sir. Always a pleasure once again. Until next weekend.
All right, brother. Let's enjoy it. Enjoy it. Bama versus Texas. We'll talk about it next week. See y'all next time on College Kings.
See you guys.